Introduction. It is important to note that adolescence is a complex and intricate stage of human development, which makes a person vulnerable to the social environment and its constituents. The given comprehensive analysis will utilize Erikson's theory in order to understand the key forces and dynamics behind EW, an adolescent and a prime interest for the case study. On the basis of observations and assessments, it is evident that the client is searching for her role and identity. Case Study Overview, EW. EW is the daughter of B and LW. She is the third child in her family and has two sisters and an older brother. E lives in the same house as her mom, dad, two sisters, and great-grandmother. Across the street from their home lives their grandfather. Cognitively, E tends to listen to others and is friendly and communicative. E believes she is overweight, and she is afraid of getting fat in the future. She is prone to self-criticism. In her opinion, only her friends like her, and others think she is stupid. These beliefs arose due to a problematic relationship with her parents, disrupting her socialization process with her peers. Erikson's theory of cognitive development. It is important to note that there are 8 stages in Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. The conflicts include trust versus mistrust in the first stage, autonomy versus shame and doubt in the second stage, initiative versus guilt in the third stage, and industry versus inferiority in the fourth stage. The latter is followed by identity versus confusion in the 5th stage, intimacy versus isolation in the 6th stage, generativity versus stagnation in the 7th stage, and integrity versus despair in the 8th stage. The key emphasis of Erikson's theory is that a person grows through the impact of social experience. The conflict is a central element of each phase, in which the term versus is utilized. It is stated that if people successfully deal with the conflict, they emerge from the stage with psychological strengths that will serve them well for the rest of their lives. However, failure to do so results in the lack or poor development of vital skills necessary for the formation of self. Cognitive development. EW is in her early adolescence, and she is experiencing changes in the functional state of the brain at rest. The latter is accompanied by a reduced degree of readiness for activity, which is reflected in the specificity of cognitive processes. The lower degree of maturity of the prefrontal cortex and its reduced activity compared with the deep structures are obstacles to the functioning of the system of arbitrary regulation and organization of activity. It manifests itself in a decrease in functional interaction between cortical structures in a situation of voluntary attention aimed at recognizing incomplete images. The adolescent brain has acquired functional differences from that of a child or adult. A vital feature of the adolescent brain is the ability to change connections between different brain parts in response to environmental influences. Such plasticity has positive and negative sides. On the positive side, it allows for considerable breakthroughs in thinking and socialization. Their behavior can become risky, but simultaneously, they can make dramatic leaps in thinking and adapt quickly to different circumstances. The negative side is that the constant change in structure increases the likelihood of dangerous behavior and mental disorders. Changes in the control functions at the initial stage of puberty also manifest in a decrease in cortical inhibitory control, leading to increasing impulsiveness in decision-making and behavior. The latter includes specific difficulties of learning activity and overload, the strain of physiological systems activity, fatigue, and reduction of stress resistance. Due to a decrease in inhibitory control from the cortex on the structures of the motivational emotional system, the adolescent's needs become poorly controllable. Although the emotional tension and the specificity of the adolescent's needs are not conducive to optimal functional state and performance, it is possible to optimize the adolescent's applicable state. To regulate the appropriate form, one must use the adolescent's interest in their personality to modify and improve physical and mental qualities characteristic of adolescence. By understanding that the brain at this age is a unique and rapidly changing structure, parents will find it easier to manage risky behavior and better use the opportunities available to them. Classification. It is necessary to consider the definition of classification itself so that the example can be more accurate. According to McLeod, classification is the ability to relate categories or classes to each other and to use categorical information to solve problems. Emmy's primary interest is socializing with people, usually her father and friends. At the same time, the patient has severe self-esteem disorders. EW is overly critical of herself, is afraid of being judged by others, and is sure that everyone but her friends thinks she is stupid. This corresponds to the part of Erikson's theory that describes adolescent self-esteem disorders connected to physiological and social factors. Under Erikson's theory, EW would be classified as being in the identity versus role confusion stage, 12 to 18 years. Evaluation of theory. Erikson's classification of psychological development by Erikson is modified and used today in psychoanalysis. Specialists in cognitive behavioral therapy and crisis psychology use Erikson's classification to better understand the patient's problem, check the norm, and plan further therapy. The theory has stood the test of time, has not been much criticized as the work of the same Freud, and in general, people's age crises continue to be studied in more detail on its basis. Ethical considerations. The APA Code of Ethics consists of crucial principles and ethical standards. It is critical to maintain the highest level of confidentiality with adolescents and children in accordance with Section 4. The principles were conceived as guidelines to help psychologists be inspired in their professional work, whether in mental health, research, or business. It is an expectation of behavior that can lead to professional and legal problems if one does so. It is essential to pay attention to non-maleficence and justice in working with the girl since he has unstable self-esteem. Conclusion. For E, the critical aspect that requires the immediate attention of a psychologist is self-esteem, which, according to Erikson's theory, can be competently formed if the child's basic needs are met. E has two basic needs, the need for satisfaction and the need for security. Satisfaction implies all biological needs, food and sleep. Erikson recognized that satisfaction with this basic need plays a vital role in the child's physical survival. However, she believed that the other basic need, safety, plays a leading role in the formation of personality. In E's case, the need for safety implies the desire to be loved, wanted, and protected from the world's dangers. If parents show genuine love and warmth, they satisfy the need for safety. This contributes to the formation of a healthy personality. Everything you need for studies, essay samples, writing tools, and tips, you can find at studycorgi.com.